Hi everyone, it's me Lisa from Lisa Knits and Vlogs. Well, it's day 3 of Lisa's knit race. And I am still making the garter stitch striped scarf. Beginner knitting. This pattern is telling you to use the Click Eaton Country 8-ply or Country Natural 8-ply. But I'm using the Four Seasons Marvel 8-ply. That's what I'm using. The width is approximately 16 centimeters. The length is approximately 180 centimeters. I'm doing the man's one. But if you follow it with this Click Eaton, they're saying 50 gram balls, 5 balls. But I'm not. Mine's 100 grams. Needles and extra is 1 pair of 4.5 knitting needles, which is what I am using, which is a size 7 in the UK. Knitting needles or size knitted or given correct tension. Then you need a wool needle for sewing in the ends. Here's my tension that I need to follow. My special abbreviations. The tip if you go to chickeaton.com.au. Here's my scarf pattern that I need to follow. And I am doing 33 stitches, 176 centimeters to make up, and then there's the little bit of the ridge. My sticky note says 33 stitches at 176 centimeters, 60 inches, 60 blocks in total. And I'll tell you why we need the blocks. This is how it goes. Now, 33 stitches. I knit the first row. So rows through 1 through 14, we slip the first stitch and knit. We always slip the first stitch and knit the 14 rows. This is where the block comes in. And this is where the repeat starts. You slip 1, you knit to the end. You slip 1, purl to the end. You slip 1, knit to the end. Slip 1, purl to the end. Rows 5 through 10 is you're always slipping the first one. You knit and slip, you knit. That's where the blocks come in. There's 10 in the red, 10 in the sun gold, 10 in the black, 10 back in the red, and 10 back in the sun gold. The only one I've got to do now is the black. And yes, I do have this here, so then that way I can show you what I've got to do to add the new colour. So there's 50 in blocks already. I need to do 60. And it has taken me so far. Now, remember guys, the stitch markers are your best friend. So please make sure that you get the chance to use them. From here to here is day 1. From here to here is day 2. From here all the way to here is day 3. So far 3 lots of stitch markers to go in here. So if I do it like this for the moment, then you get the chance to see. There's 1 stitch mark, there's 2 stitch markers, and there's the 3rd one. Now the yarn that I used is Four Seasons Marvel 8-ply, 100% acrylic, 100 grams. Now I have used Sunshine Gold, the red, and the black. It is made for Spotlight, PTY, and LTD, and it's www.spotlightstores.com. That's where I go and get my yarn from. That's where most times I always get my yarn, unless somewhere else has yarn on sale. Care instructions says cool hand wash, do not bleach, do not tumble dry, dry flat in the shade, low iron, dry cleanable. It's a 270 meter per ball, 4mm knitting needles, 4.5 or a 5. I've used up to a 5. There's my knitting gauge. But for the knitting needles, you could probably do the same in crochet hooks with a 4, a 4.5 and a 5, depending on your tension. So that is what I use. So now I am up to using the black. So this is where I can show you how I get my black joins. So what I do is, now I slip the first stitch, and I knit the second one, and I knit the third one. The pattern always says you do your 3. Here's my black yarn, and then I go to knit this into this one, and I put that over like so. So I make sure I leave a big enough tail to when I need to sew it in. And then I hold on to those two, and then I start knitting. And then I knit to the end like I would if it was the other one, doing it with just either the red or the sun gold. And once this one is finished, it will be donated to Kogo, which is knit one, give one, and then that'll give them another scarf to do, to give to who would need it. And the red, the gold, and the black are the colours for the Aboriginal flag that we have here in Australia. Red is always first, and then the gold. The gold represents the sun, and the red is for the earth, and black is, not quite sure what the black is. I'll have to write it down so next time when I tell you guys, then you know what it is. Now, to go back, I slip the first stitch again. I slip, put him around that way, because now we are purling. So I purl back, purl all the way back. Remember, rows 1 and 2 are knit and a purl, and in rows 3 and 4 are the knit and the purl again. Row 5 through 10 is I just knit, but I always slip that first stitch on each row. Even when I'm up to the last lot of rows, when I need to do 8 rows, I still do it. And then I cast off. So I have, after this block, I have 9 more blocks to go. And then I'll be just doing the knitting row. And then I just keep knitting until it is actually finished. So then what I do is, now that I'm back to here, what I do is I just hold them so in that way it keeps them tight for the moment, and then I still purl to the end. And then I can fix them up. So that was that row done for now. And then, because I write down here all my blocks and rows, so now I can mark them off. So that's 2 rows done, and then these are all my blocks. And then what I'll do is, I'll do the next 2 rows as well. So then that way, I'll do 2 more. I slip the first stitch, and then I knit. And then I'll explain about the tails in a minute, when I've done this row and the next row. So I'll just knit quietly for a minute so you get to see what I'm doing. I wonder if you can hear my needles clicking. And now I turn around and I go back. I slip the first stitch, pass him over, and now I purl. And then I push him in the back like this. So he comes out the back, I wrap him around, and then I come out and off. So that's what I do with my purl row. That's all this knitting is just knitting and purling. And then there's some parts where you just knit away, and there's no purl lines, just knitting with the garter stitch. I've really been enjoying making these scarves. I have loved it. And they're mindless. You don't need no counting, no nothing. Just as long as you remember when you've done rows 1 through 4 with knitting and purling, rows 5 through 10 are just knitting. And then I'll mark that off, and then I can explain to you exactly about my tails. So rows 3 and 4 are done. Now, when I get a little bit further along, this is why you'll sew it in here and then up here. Then that's where it makes it the better, the nice neatness. Where you're not doing it on the side because it makes a bubble. Whereas here, you just sew it in up and it's done. So that is what I have done so far. 3 days. So now that I'm on the last tail end of this, it will be finished pretty soon. So I do hope you guys get the chance to like and you comment. And I do hope you've been enjoying watching me make these scarves. So I will see you on the YouTube streets. Bye.